Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies, for joining Joe Boo's Day Job. Today is going to be actually a great day. It's Memorial Weekend, and just glad to be alive. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Last night, I glued up the first part of what's going to become a huge butcher block countertop, and because it's going to be so big, I'm doing it in sections, and this is basically going to be one wing of it. I got a question, I think last night somebody was talking about the butcher block, being porous and salmonella and everything else and yada yada yada. Well, here's what we're going to actually do. This is not going to be a butcher block that we're cutting meat and stuff on. This is going to be a butcher block look. And either I'm going to use spar urethane or I will use more likely the epoxy resin that is actually food safe to make it crystal clear and to seal it. Because I want to seal this because I don't want stuff to get in it. Because what a lot of people, if you're have people who have butcher blocks, and you can see the thickness of this. We're going to end up running this through the thickness planer. People who have butcher blocks, what they find out is when they just use the bowl resin and stuff on it, especially when they have it like, let's say, an undermount sink, the end grain is going to suck up more moisture than the rest of it. And typically, if you notice, if you buy wood in the raw, you'll see it's painted on the end. The reason why it's painted is to seal it up so that way it doesn't split on the ends. And that's a problem when you have a lot of moisture and stuff with the wood, because wood is a living and breathing thing. So to eliminate that, we're not putting the sink with the wood countertops. That's the first thing. We're going to have it around the stove, which will help to eliminate the issue of the water and stuff being on there. But setting stuff like glasses or wet jars and things like that when it's porous can stain the wood. The good news is you can actually sand it out and refinish it. But we're going to eliminate that by using the epoxy resin on top of it. It's going to give us a nice shiny finish that'll be easy to clean and will protect the wood. So you can see what I did last night. We glued this up. This is oversized. This is 13 inches. What we're looking for is this to be 25 inches. The whole countertop itself is going to be about 92 inches long with the stove in between. So that means we got 31 inches on one side of the stove, 31 inches on the other side. And what we'll do is we'll take this blank along with another, or take these two pieces and laminate it together to make one of the wings. And see, we've got 62 inches there. So we have just enough. Now I need to glue up another one of these as well to make the other wing, or to put together to make both of the wings. The other thing, you see that stack of lumber that's over there, I've got to go through and we're going to cut those down and run those through the planer. We've got to make sure there's no nails and stuff in there. I've got a few more 2x4s that are here to start laminating up the long piece. Now I don't think I have enough here to make that 24 inch wide, 92 inch long piece. What I could do, and I think I have a bit for it, it's basically like multiple finger bit. And what it'll do is it will cut finger joints in there so you can laminate shorter pieces and put together. If I want to go ahead and just get it done between now and when I go down there, then I could do that, or I just wait and bring back some more wood. I'll probably just wait and bring back some more wood. We're also, for this butcher block island, it's going to be functional as far as cabinetry goes. What we're going to do is, we have some pieces of wood that are big like this. We're going to basically make our post solid pieces of the wood from the red brick house to make stretchers across for it to be able to hold on to. But also, too, there'll be cabinetry that's underneath of it, so that way it's completely usable. We're trying to make this kitchen island the focal point of the kitchen, and to make it very, very functional from a standpoint of being able to cook, as well as for people to be able to sit around and dine on it, because we don't have enough space in the kitchen to have a table, or we do away with the island and not have the island. We could just have an L-shaped kitchen with no island and a table in there. But see, by doubling up and making the island the table, we're going to end up maximizing the space that's in there. So we're going to cut this in half. We're going to glue up another piece. We're also going to be building our vanities, we're going to be building our vanities for the house as well. And they're going to be looking, it's like the new style they have, which is kind of old world, where you've got legs that are on them. It's got an open section with slats underneath of it where you put your towels and stuff on it, and then you have the cabinet above it. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to make it the cabinet to open up the doors, so you have the space that's in there that way, or make drawers that go around the plumbing. We're going to be using the butcher blocks that I made before for the countertops for both the bathrooms, and we're going to have vessel sinks on top of it. So that way it'll maximize the space underneath of it, because you don't have the bowl sitting in there. And we're going to make them 34 inches tall, so that way they're more advantageous for adults and older people like myself to be able to go in there, as well as when you think about before they had indoor plumbing, they basically had a vessel and a vase to pour water to use to wash up. Well, it's giving you kind of that same look, and using the old materials, although we will be using some birch plywood. So let's get to work here. I love it. Okay. All right. Well, here's what we found out. That sucker is too tall to go in there. So I wasn't going to do it this way, but I tell you what, we're just going to plane that. We'll plane it down so we can cut it on there. We'll rough plane it. Problems of a small workshop is you don't have as much space as you like, but we make it work. So this is one wing. Okay, this is one side of the stove. Now I've got to laminate some more to make the other side, and then I'm going to need to make a 92-inch long piece to go with that. So this, I think, we're going to have some places where we have to fill in here, because we do have some nail holes and some worm holes. Like, see, come here a little closer. You'll see, you know, like the checks in the wood. You see, like these worm holes, we'll actually take and pick out the worm holes and stuff like this. And what we'll do is we'll fill this in with a black filler, because I like the contrast. So you see the worm holes and things in there. And this is another reason why we'll use an epoxy resin on this to seal it up, because this is a pine, be it an antique heart pine, but it's still a porous, soft wood. And so you don't want to have cuts and stuff into this. But I think look-wise, for this to have been the floor joists that held up the house, I think it's fitting that now they get to be seen. I think that that's just going to be absolutely gorgeous. So we'll end up gluing this up together and end up having one real big side piece. And then eventually it'll be glued up to the longer pieces. Now we may end up planing this. This is 2 inches thick. I think I'm going to plane it to actually 1.75 3/4, and that way I'll have 2 3/4. I'm sorry, 2.5. I think is what I want to have on the lip on the back. So that way I have a demarcation between the back and the front when it's laminated. But I think it's going to look really good. Yeah. All right. On to gluing up the next piece. Okay, so rinse, repeat. So now we got to glue up, then this will be the other 2 wings. So we'll get the glue, start gluing, and start getting this thing together. Man, whoo, this is going to be great. But you can see this is definitely a lot of work, but it's going to save a lot of money and preserve something that'll be great for history.